Hey guys, just pulled up to Rob Carper Innovations. Rob does some amazing handle work, different materials, some wild stuff. Let's go check out his shop. Rob, where are you hiding? What's going on?
What's happening, man?
Oh, just another day. You mad scientist. Good to see you, brother.
Good seeing you.
What you doing here?
Oh, working on a few concepts for some guys. I got a little bit of some coyote teeth and claws going on here, and then back to the gear stuff. And so working away, enjoying my afternoon sitting here.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Rob Carper with Rob Carper Innovations, and I'm a maker.
So what do you make?
Handle material, knife handle material is about 90% of my business, and but I do things that accommodate other industries such as duck call making, vape box making, just numerous other items that fall out of the lab. So it's a lot of fun to do, and I'm thankful to be in the knife industry.
How long have you been doing this, and what got you into it?
Well, I'll ask you. Has it been about 5 years so far? Because you got me into this.
It's been
pretty close, hasn't it?
closer to 6 years. 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. 'Cause I was already making knives for a short bit. Yep.
Yeah.
What did you do before this?
I actually had a business where I was doing custom finish work on commercial and residential cabinetry. So I had a 3,000 square foot facility with a bunch of spray equipment and a lot of guys working for me. So very thankful to not be in the booth anymore. And prior to that, I was chemical coatings rep here in the Atlanta market.
So basically, because of your past experience and past businesses, this was kind of an easy transition into this with the various products.
It really was. I already had an understanding of the chemical coatings, so that was a given. Large background of woodworking from grade school all the way through the Marines and into antiques later on. So this has been just a part of my portfolio. So it's really been nice. Y'all doing all right?
Yeah.
Good.
Show us the shop, dude.
Absolutely.
You got some wild stuff going on in here.
So I got the pressure pot area that I do all the aluminum light resin casting with in various stages. A lot of stuff comes in pans. I can do like 6 to 8 sets in a pan. Get pressurized, ready to roll.
How far will these pull down?
110 psi. Yeah. The larger ones are really nice for the high psi. The smaller ones, I go up to 60 on them.
It's a bit. How many you got? 2, 4,
13 altogether.
4 big and 7 small, huh?
5 big.
Or 5 big. I can't count.
I got another one hiding over here. So,
hiding over there.
if I do long stuff, like some of the cholla cactus, I can actually drop it down lengthwise. And pardon my dirty, non-clean pressure pots, but
Shows they're being used.
they are used.
What's your favorite product to work with?
I like the resin. I like the resins between the Alumalite, the West Systems, just the ability to mix and do different things with them. It's a lot of fun.
What is your top seller? You know, I understand resin's a big thing, but is there particular colors or style or?
Not really. There's a lot of your primary colors like blues, reds, and whites. That those go all the time. But I like to mix it up and come up with different stuff like gears. So I got guys that will send me gears, or I'll purchase them and make some pretty cool stuff out of it. So I haven't pigeonholed myself into one particular thing. So I keep it pretty diverse, and I enjoy making stuff that's not the same all the time. So no cookie cutter stuff here.
What's the wildest material you've ever used or had to cast in? I've heard people having their personal bones put in the resin. Have you done anything crazy like that?
I've been asked to do human remains cremated, and I just can't do it. So that would be definitely the weirdest, but I haven't done it. Turquoise is a big one. That's not weird though. Antler, some bone, but not much. So for doing all the wood stabilization, we got a big heater, not a freezer.
It was a freezer, right?
It was a freezer.
Good Lord.
So it stays at a, I'll let you take the camera on now. No secrets in there. But it stays at a nice comfy, whatever the temperature is right here. Oh, sorry, it's over there.
111 degrees. Yep, roasted in here.
And then I got a speed dry cabinet behind you
Oh wow.
that stays at about 170.
Now, speed dry versus your normal drying, what's the differences in time?
If I get something, about a day.
Really?
Yeah, about a day. So I can take something that is 35% moisture content, drop it in here. Whoop, excuse the mess down there on the bottom. You may want to cut that out. But, so.
Oh, I see something on mine in there too.
Yes. And I just got to process it.
Cool. If there's anything you could change in your past of doing this, what would it be?
That's an interesting question. I think probably taking business class.
So you don't have to give away all of your, technical information per se on this, but kind of give me a rundown of the process of doing a hybrid handle scale.
Oh, sure. It starts out where I'll find the wood, or somebody will send me wood, and it'll go through a stabilization process where the wood gets infused with a resin and then cured out. So it solidifies the wood and makes unusable wood usable, kind of like spalted or punky wood that's falling apart. And then that gets cured out, and then it also gets placed I'll place it in a mold, similar to one of these. That's not a closed mold, but anyway, the wood will get placed in a mold, and then I'll take the 2K resin, 2-part resin, and mix that up with various additives, pearlescent powders, phosphorescents, glow-in-the-dark stuff, and that gets mixed in with the wood as well. And then it goes into the pressure pots, cures for a couple of hours, and then it somehow magically comes out and is done.
Is there any special care that people need to know about when they're using some of these resin materials on handles or anything like that?
Safety is always a big concern. So it is plastic, so you're grinding plastic, you're shaping it, so you want to wear a respirator. The wood has an infusion of a resin into it, so you want to wear a respirator. But other than that, it's if you're working steel or any other products on a grinder, you just take the safety precautions that you normally would. So doing some concepts with some cholla cactus, great use. Got some guys like Joe Maynard's already done a really nice knife out of it. Cool stuff. And then
So you're just doing these as a little bit of hidden tang versus the way most of the people you see, it's just a flat scale, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole concept?
Yeah. Hidden tang, and of course not everything has to be knife related, so a lot of these things can be cut up, they can be utilized for various other projects. Okay. Rings, all kinds of stuff.
Sweet.
And I do primarily, most everybody knows me for scales. I do a great deal of scale making, mostly resin and wood hybrids. And then
Of course, pine cones.
Pine cones.
So typically, what size scales are you making?
After 5 years of doing it, and having everybody want various sizes, I've got it down to where I do predominantly 3/8 by 2 inch by 5.
Okay.
So that gives most everybody a good. It's easier to take the product off than it is to put it back on. is what most everybody tells me. So.
What about for the end user? I mean, is there any precautions you need to take? Is it UV stable, things of that such?
They do have UV inhibitors in it. The Alumilite resin is a two-part urethane resin, so it stays crystal clear all the time. A lot of your epoxies and polyesters, those are made up where they will amber over the course of time slightly. West System's got a UV inhibitor built into it, so I'm very happy to be able to have a company right next door to me virtually that I can get that product from, almost a walk to it. So, but it does have some inhibitors in it.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Now, for the guy that's at home starting this in his garage, what would your advice be?
YouTube. Because you came to me with this idea when you started making knives, and you were like, hey, I'm starting to make a bunch of knives, and I'm buying a bunch of this handle material online. You got any interest in learning how to do it? And so I got on YouTube and just started viewing the videos that were available at that time 6 years ago, and there weren't a lot. And there's no handbook to do what I do. Nobody's written a guideline on how to do this. So you really have to be interested in it, and you've got to want to do it, because I've gone from the garage to turning this into a full-time job, and it's you got to love it.
If there was one thing you could tell an aspiring maker that wants to get into something similar to this, what would be the one thing that you'd say don't do? Just like top blow your mind, do not go this route.
Oh geez. I don't know. I to be honest with you, you know, if you want to get into this, it's expensive. Be prepared to spend money. So and find your customers and know them and stay with them. So because if they got you here where you're at, you got to stay in touch with them. So customer relations is huge. So you really have to be mindful of that.
What's the best way for people to purchase your product?
Website. I've got a website that I keep full. Currently it has about 280 knife handle material on it. Or you can contact me through Facebook, through Messenger. I have a pretty open policy about how you can get a hold of me. My business card has my phone number on it. I have an Instagram site, website, and Facebook, all named Rob Carper Innovations.
Okay, so it's at Rob Carper Innovations, and okay, very cool.
Yep.
Ford or Chevy, but nah, this is a trick question because I saw the Jeep outside.
Jeep, AMC specifically.
And knife handles, I mean, you're doing the gears and you're doing the turquoise. What's the next step in the evolution?
Getting ready to place an order for Meteorite. So I got an email from one of my customers, and he's like, have you thought about Meteorite? And I was like, no, not really, but let's go.
That's one more thing I just thought of. So if you have a set of scales that are resin based and they're warped from sitting in your drawer or whatever, what's the best solution to get those better prepared for a knife?
Anything resin based, you can heat up to about, anything resin based you can heat. You started it again, right? You can heat up in the oven or a toaster oven, whatever it is, just a heating element at about 170, 175 degrees for about 15, 20 minutes. And it's not going to melt on you. I've got stuff that I put in there at 220 and leave it in there for 30, 40 minutes, and it does just fine. But my recommendation would be to go ahead and warm it up and then sandwich it between two plates and go ahead and vise it, and you can just leave it in there until it cools down and it's good to go.
Cool.
So you can do that with Alumilite, you can do that with epoxy resin, just about any of your resins. Polyester is a little more brittle and a little harder, so a little more time may be involved in doing it, but I don't deal with polyester. I just can't handle the smell of it. It kills me. It's like fiberglass resin, same thing. So I just can't deal with it.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'd like to thank Rob for letting us come and look at his workspace. Thank you for showing us some of your tips and tricks. And give him a follow. You know, he's on Facebook. Go check out his work on his website. He does some amazing work.
Good to see you, my friend.
Appreciate it. Good seeing you.
Work's looking good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Y'all be sure to hit that subscribe button below, and y'all have a great week. We'll see you soon.
See you later. Rob,
Hey.
was that when you're in the dog box?
The fun runner? No, not mine. Can you cut that? Damn it. I hate these things already. You're going to drop it on the floor anyway.
We're going to show that, don't worry. That'll be in there.